welcome back, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome. You were about to get the raw feed from us on a topic. We haven't discussed this. We're not sure where it's going to go, but it's a here and now topic. It's an unresolved topic.
Totally
so
unresolved,
this will be interesting.
yeah.
There's probably going to be a lot of prognosticating going on here.
Right.
But our discussion today is going to be in regards to what we've been referring to as commission compression. And I'll start it out just by saying, I've been in the business 23 years, and of course we always see the commissions fluctuating based on the market, what's going on. More so as the years went on with competitors and how they chose to do business and their models. And now on top of that, so on top of the market, on top of the competitors or just the different business models that are out there, is our own industry.
Right.
Right. So we've got pressures on our industry. We're in the middle of a lawsuit right now that just, I believe, got
Actually,
authority.
there's a few lawsuits going on.
Yeah, the big one though is
the class action.
Yeah, and they just got class action. What do they call it? Certification. Which, like, wow, and that's a big one. That could really change things. But I'm seeing some things. I'm not seeing a lot.
Okay.
But with the rules and things that they're bringing into place, and it just is setting us up for big change.
So I'll start with that question. Regardless of the outcome of the class action, I think it's going to change. That our commission structure is going to change, regardless. Whichever way the class action goes, win, lose, and whichever side wins, whichever side loses, I still think we're going to have a significant change in our industry moving forward with the commission structure.
I think there are a lot of pressures in that direction. I just don't see the resolution to it yet.
Okay.
And because I think there are fundamental things about the way we conduct our business that we have to answer how to change them.
Right.
And then we have to go through that change before we can get to where we're operating in that new way. And there's a million opinions out there. And are commissions too high? Are people paying too much? I think you need to look at the other side of it. Are we an efficient industry? Are people able to look at properties and have good choices and make efficient transactions? And these are all things that could potentially be on the chopping block.
That's the one that's scaring me.
Yeah.
So the efficiency of the business. And I see where, I don't know, if I was coming into this business right now and I was actually trying to create that disruption, being the next Zillow or whatever, and disrupting our industry, I think we're one of the most disruptable industries right now. And even more so on the buyer side commission. I think that's really what the conversation is about.
But why? It's such a powerful tool. So
I'm gonna
you've
say yes and
got
no.
our system, right? Where we say the seller pays the commission. Let's say the seller finances the commission up front.
Okay.
Because in the end, it's really built into the purchase price if the seller's paying for it. So to say that the seller's paying all the commission, I think first is misleading.
Okay.
And then you have the opportunity to make that sale without this big burden on the buyer. I mean, this could radically change pricing, can disrupt the pricing, the efficiency of a transaction, buyer's ability to purchase, if they're burdened with having to come up with a big commission in the purchase of a home. So how are we going to answer that? Yeah, they may not too. Who knows?
Yeah. So I have a working theory.
All right, let's get to it.
Okay. WebMD.
Yes.
Okay. And online law.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So
I'm
there was
vaguely familiar with both of them. They're kind of self-help for professional industries.
basically.
Okay.
So in professional industries where there's some real importance behind them. And I'll stick with law. I mean, we got to a point now where there are some things that you don't have to call an attorney for. You have the option of going online and downloading these forms and getting that help. And picture this in my real estate world where I am the listing agent and I've secured a commission to sell your property. And now I've got this online product for the buyers. As long as they can get into the house and see that house, come to our online system, pay me $500 to write the offer for you, or $250, whatever it is. I'm just thinking of the number. Not really any different than them walking into a model home right now in the new home construction. You know, with, you know, you've got disclosures and things like that with regard to a house, you know, this is a resale, but really not much different. And they walk in, they say, hey, I'll pay you this flat fee. So kind of alleviates those thousands and thousands of dollars of the buyer's agent not really being in that picture. Now, and I know if you're really listening to this, I may be creating some enemies here, but in order for something like that to not happen, we've got to step up our game as buyer's agents, and what value can we actually bring to that consumer to be worth the money that we're getting paid.
You know, this goes back, this is interesting, just popped into my head for what it's worth. One of the big things a lot of trainers talk about, I'll go ahead and say it, Tom Ferry, he's probably the biggest one, at least around here for sure, is an agent's knowledge, market knowledge. And I think it's glossed over so much, which is, do you know everything around you? Do you know the neighborhoods? Do you know the models? Do you know what's currently on the market? Do you look at it every day? Are you informed? The value of that is so overlooked. That's what you're talking about right now. And people need to have that because, I hate the idea of buyers letting themselves into houses to look at them. I don't think they understand. I mean, in some instances, I'm sure there are agents that are worthless and it's not going to help whether they're opening the door or not. But a lot of them, most of us, are providing a pretty good value. We're going to point out things that they don't understand, get details, help them analyze those, if it's right for them or not. And I find it a little dangerous. It is
a little dangerous. But the first question is like the other two professions that I mentioned, we're not all equal. There are doctors out, you know, we got to go in for brain surgery. We're looking for the best because our life's on the line or whatever the case may be.
More competitive buyer's agent market.
Correct. So I see it going in that direction, that there will be some that will be able to prove that they are better. The question is how are they going to prove that they're better? You know, it's not necessarily how many sales I've done in the past. So I think that's one of the challenges that the buyer's agents are going to have in that.
So do you foresee that the listing agents will list a house and say, you know, we're not going to pay anyone to bring in a buyer, but you're welcome to, and that'll be separate from a buyer's agent negotiating their own contract with clients? So that's going to be such a difficult, you know who this is going to be a difficult, well, it's going to be a difficult change for our industry.
Correct.
Just because change is difficult. But for the consumer, that's going to be immense because they're always going to go for the cheapest, and so many of them are going to get rolled and pay a price.
But not everybody. But I guess, have you been into a property yet where you're able to just walk in, pretend like you're not a real estate agent? It's the business is already there where you can actually set a time to go to this property as long as the property is vacant. It's completely staged, and you walk in. You say, I want to see it, and they give you a code. You get the code to the door. You go in there as the consumer. You unlock the door. It tells you right there, hey, you're on camera, and they've got cameras set up in the entire house to protect the home. You view it as you wish, and when you're done, boom, you close the door, the code changes, and you're finished. No real estate agent involved in the beginning. And at some point, will they be looking for advice from an agent? Probably. Hey, what price should I offer on this home, or what should I do? But so often now, so many people are going to the internet first to try to figure everything out themselves. So I see it as a possibility.
Well, that's certainly, I think, where the powers that be, right, our associations and things. So they've already begun having the buyer's commission shown on the internet so that the consumer's aware of what's going on, which I'm not sure if it's right or wrong. It's just strange to me, but
it is strange.
It's okay. And then what are the other things they have going on here? So MLSs, which used to be cooperatives, I will no longer ever refer to them as cooperatives because they don't cooperate anymore. And you don't have to put in a commission.
Correct.
You can go 0, but I'm advertising it here, which currently makes you go, well, why then if you're not offering a
compensation? Right.
But it all goes to your point where slowly we'll morph to where someone says, hey, I got a buyer. Hey, will you pay me $5,000 and I will make sure that this gets through smoothly. I'll run you through the process. I'll analyze it with you and get you this problem. Yeah, all right, let's do this. So that's going to be a big change. So those changes with the association. So posting of compensation and not requiring compensation to be in the MLS are going to be big changes.
So, here's the other side of it that we really haven't touched on. So often in the industry, when you go into a listing appointment, in our situation, we're asking for a commission and we're factoring in the fact that we're paying the buyer's agent and paying ourselves. And commissions have already reduced. Partly, prices have gone up. Yes, I get that, and that's fair, that the percentage of the newer price is more money, and that is true, and that's fair. But the numbers going down, I think the national average now is at 4, it's like 4.9 or something. It's dropped below 5 as a national average. In our area, if I had to guess, I'd probably say it's about 3.5, maybe 4. It's definitely under 4. And here's part 2 of it. You walk in as a listing agent and you're working with these commissions, you now have a lot of costs that are associated with this now too. By the time the photographer gets done, by the time you're doing, staging
consulting and everything else.
Exactly. You've got some money behind this. How much are you giving away of that new number? Are you keeping more than you're giving away? Are you giving more away? Because it used to be, there used to be so many agents in the industry. Hey, how much do you want to pay the buyer's agent? Okay. And then they would negotiate a number for them. Usually in the neighborhood in our area, it was like 2.5% to 3%, and then they would discount their side as a listing agent. That's almost gone because the numbers have
there's no room left.
Exactly. So if you want me to do these things for you and take care of these things in the house, my number has to be this, and this is what's left. And that number that's left is really getting more and more reduced. So that's the other thing that's really not factored into what's happening right now. But it's going to be interesting.
It's literally what was on the tip of my tongue. When is it going to happen? Who's going to be that first person that just says, hey, here it is. I'm not offering a compensation. Use a buyer broker.
Right.
And how's that all going to work out? Are we going to find a way where a buyer can finance some sort of assistance for the transaction? Is that just going to become an extra fee to them?
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, I could foresee that you become a listing agent or you become a buyer's agent, or you do both, but you got to do them separately now, right?
Right.
And you have a program where like, hey, this is what we'll do for you, and here's what it's going to cost, and it's going to have to be something that can fit on a closing statement, so it doesn't disrupt the buyer's ability to get the house they want, right? Because if you're going to charge them $10,000 or $15,000 for that side, that's taking away a lot of purchase power when you don't have that for closing costs or a down payment.
Correct. So, who knows?
All right.
But I do know this. Something's going to change.
Yeah. Well, I really liked what this one guy presented to us 5 years ago or something like that. He said, I believe they're going to be listing agents. That's what they do.
Right.
And it's going to be for a very reasonable fee to the sellers. And then there's going to be buyer agents. And they're going to have to figure out what they do. And it's going to be two separate sides. And you got to decide, what are you going to focus on?
Okay. All right. I don't know where we're going, so we'll see.
Competition's fierce?
It is fierce. There's disruption in the system. And don't get me wrong, I feel like there should be. I'm excited about it. I think there's new opportunities that are out there right now and things of that nature. And that part of it is exciting to me. So it shouldn't be easy. It should be difficult. And we do get paid well when we do the job well. So,
true.
Yeah, so anyway.
All right.
2 cents.
For what it's worth, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like and subscribe. Interested in any comments on this one, what you guys think? I think this is where we say bye.
Yep.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Bye, guys.